So housing is pretty complex as it is, but what happens when government gets involved? Let's explore that next. Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here, and today I want to talk about what happens when government starts to get involved with housing, and is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'll let you decide. Actually, I'll probably tell you what I think. But hang on, before we do get started though, if you're thinking that Idaho might be a place that you want to check out because it might be a better place than where you're living right now, give us a call, text, email. All of us here on the team, we've all made that relocation journey. We have experiences and stories that we would love to share with you to find out if maybe this is the right place for you. It might not be, but you're not going to know until you get more information. Maybe even come up for a fact-finding trip and we go out to lunch and yeah, I'm there already. Anyway, so go ahead and like this video. Please subscribe. That helps out so much. And so let's just jump right into the topic. So we have government, right? That does zoning and things like that because they want to, well, affect an agenda. You know, maybe it's the 20th, the 19th, maybe it's Agenda 21. I don't know, but it's an agenda that they're working towards. Otherwise, what are they doing out there? Why did they go to school for 8 years to become experts to, I don't know, push us around? Anyway, so recently, the city of Boise was pushing to make some pretty major substantial changes, and they got some blowback, some pushback from the populace. Of course, they put the best spin possible on there. So let's explore some of these things. This is from our friends over at Boise Dev. And if you haven't subscribed to their free email that comes out every day with some really good information, please go ahead and do that. I hardly endorse that. Boise's new zoning code proposal got a major shakeup after the first 2 rounds of public input. Those darn people always screwing up government plans, am I right? The new proposal rolls back city zoning citywide that had focused on denser projects, and they're trying to incentivize the developers to build with more sustainable materials and have more units for low-income housing. So yeah, that certainly sounds like central planning, right? So these changes that their rollback, they're like, let's regroup and try again when no one's looking type of a thing, came after listening to the feedback from residents. So one of the things that they wanted was they scaled back the number of units allowed by right throughout the city. So the first draft they're trying to push through was to have apparently rights that if you have a piece of land, you could automatically have up to 4 units on it. A very high density. And apparently people didn't want that. They don't want that higher density going on. And also to incentivize these developers to do more high density, they're obviously going to have like government programs and things like that. And but if they do, then because developers make more money if they have more people in a smaller area, sure, right? Because then they spend less on land and maybe the economy of scale and things like that. So the city really incentivizes it for their own agenda. But they did say that they want developers to have, like if you have a 4-plex, to have 2 of those 4 units designated for low-income housing. For Boiseans, making less than 80% of the area median income. So in this case, it says right now, that means that a single adult male would be making $47,000 a year and would have rents set at just under $1,200 bucks. So there's your low-income housing. Is that it? Yeah, let's move on to the next part. So we actually recently talked about John here in a previous video, but it's so germane to this one too. What John is showing us is that the law in California, everywhere except for the San Francisco Bay Area for some reason, but he's focusing on LA right now, is that that you can have higher density. You can have multiple 4-plexes or whatever on a tighter piece of land. There will be no more zoning for single-family homes in California, except for the Bay Area, and I'm not sure what's going on there. So what does that mean? Well, as John rightly points out, they're going to double at least their population in a very short order. And maybe that means you could turn like your garage into another living area and things like that. I know it's all crazy talk, but that's what's going on in California. I've got some experience with this in California. Maybe we'll talk about that here in just a second. Another news story along the same exact lines is that Boise was considering allowing up to 4 units by right on any residential parcel in the city. So it's like single family home next to yours. Nope, they're going to put in a fourplex. And what is that going to do to your quality of life? Maybe you like that, maybe you don't. But yeah, that was all on that one. So here is Sarah and Aaron. They're talking about 5 things that Idaho developers can do to create a more affordable housing. I'm not sure where these guys are coming from. Obviously, it's a editorial opinion from a media outlet, so take that for what it's worth. But I thought it was instructive for what they say, what they are trying to tell you to do. They're saying that development can be done better, particularly when it comes to building in affordability from the get-go. That means having those public-private partnerships with developers, public meaning the local city. And I don't know if you've ever looked up the textbook definition of fascism, but it really is public-private partnership. It's not all these wacky, someone says something you don't like is fascism. No, that's not what it is. In an economic standpoint, it is private partnership. And that's exactly what they're advocating for housing. And how's that going to work out? Treasure Valley still lacks 24,000 affordable and available homes to meet the demand. So we need 24,000. We need another, 50, 75,000 low budget, low income people to have a place to live. So that's what they're saying. But they're also saying that developers can and should be able to build the kind of housing that meets our community needs. Community needs. Are you kind of picking up on the language here? And do so along with the infrastructure. So the government, this is what they're advocating, is to have this partnership so the rich, mean developers can make all this affordable housing and also pay for all the infrastructure, roads and fire departments and public transit. You ever heard about the train to nowhere in California? Billions of dollars and nothing's happened there. Anyway, moving along, the solution to affordable housing is not to sprawl outwards, which would make us become exactly like California. Really? We just saw John talk about how California is doing anything but sprawling outwards. They're making more density on the land that they have, going from a single family home to, say, a fourplex. And I think it's a little bait and switch here. Maybe they think that we're more stupid than, I don't know, that they hope that we are. They said we need to rather think outside the box. So here's their 5 things that they want us to do. And by us, I think they mean people who didn't speak up at that other planning zoning committee meeting, the people that would just sit home and maybe tacitly support this. They said we need to build more accessory dwelling units alongside single family homes. So take your tough shed in the backyard, throw air conditioner in it. There's your accessory dwelling unit. Let's go ahead and ship some homeless people and let them live in your backyard. Maybe we could take that garage. You got a big 2-car garage, right? This happens in Vacaville. That's where I'm from in California. Not from, I wasn't born there, believe me. But I did live there long enough that, people rent out their garages. You got a 2-car garage, got an accessory dwelling unit right there. You can rent it out to low-income people. Sure, it doesn't hurt property values at all. It's a great thing. No, they have to go in, they have to use a bucket for, their stuff, but that's okay. Next, build single occupancy apartments and ditch parking requirements. So they're going to build apartment complexes. They're taking away your car. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they're making it so expensive that you can't drive your car. That could be happening like today or last week. But they're saying that maybe these apartments will be 400 square foot and you don't need a car. It sounds like a freaking Pelican Bay, doesn't it? At least there you get out for an hour a day for sunshine. Next, encourage home sharing for senior homeowners. So I guess it's kind of like I don't know, an Uber for old people. So you just like take them and you stick them here for today and stick them there for tomorrow. And it's like, what do they have? They're just what? Useless eaters? No, hold on. We can't use that terminology here. Demand 10% for affordability. So it's like affordable housing measures is not unattainable. It's a natural step in the right direction. Well, it's a natural step if you have that central planning mindset where the elitist in the government can tell you what to do because they're smarter and you're more stupid. And then also attend the City of Boise zoning code rewrite open houses. So you can go in there and they're trying to get the people in there that will shout down the people that are standing up for their property rights. You've probably seen some of that examples of people getting shouted down at, I don't know, city councils and school board meetings and things like that. So this is a polite, smiley face way of saying they want some more crisis. They want to put the central planning, I dare say Marxist, but I'll say central planning type of effect into motion and make sure that anything that you say against that gets curtailed. And to close up, very few of us need a 2,000 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom home all to ourselves. What we need is access to parks and nature and the ability to walk or bike to work, shopping and entertainment safely, and a sense of belonging to the community, connections for our neighborhood. Their developments has these needs, and our developments must reflect these needs. So it's like, have you ever heard of Ickley? Have you heard of Agenda 21? Ickley's a byproduct of that. And you can look it up. It's all over the place. It's not a big secret. It's an international group out of, I want to say Germany, local governments for sustainability. So they have all these brainiacs come together to put together these plans to give you those walking paths and the 400 square foot shareable apartments that you can put old people in when you're tired of looking at them, and where you can put as many people into, an apartment block, the projects. Remember that Eddie Murphy show right there? So it's like, okay, does Ickley exist? Well, yes, it does. Are there a lot of cities that belong to it and get guidance from it and perhaps even get, I don't know, money from certain international financiers that support this kind of a thing? Like they give to DAs and stuff like that when they're running for office. Maybe you've heard of it in the Bay Area. I'm not sure. So it's like, okay, well, Ickley. Do we have Ickley? We had it in spades in California. The whole ABAG, the Bay Area government, it was all about Ickley, and there was so much pushback, and were doing so much to damage the communities, and they were quite successful in that. So let's take a look. I don't know. Is Boise a member of Ickley? It sure is. How about that? So does that surprise you? I mean, it's the capital. The mayor is a central planning enthusiast. Okay, but yeah, sure, everybody places like that, right? Nampa? Nope, it's not there. Nampa happens to be, according to WallaHub, one of the best run small cities in the entire country, because we have a very responsive mayor and city government that promotes business and individual property rights and growth in a smart way, not smart growth, because that's keyword for stuff. All right, but what about Caldwell? I already know the answer. No, it's not there. Neither is Meridian. Neither is the city of Eagle. But Boise's there. And so Boise, apparently, they have an agenda. They work hand in glove with Ickley. And why, I do not know. Probably because the ignorance of the people in Boise, they have no idea what's going on. But we did see the effect of it in that they're trying to go with this high density, the right to have fourplexes on every single parcel of land throughout Boise. Is that what you want? You want Boise to be like LA? Well, that's what they want. And they are working towards that, and they're asking people to come out nicely to make sure that your voice does not get heard. So what does all this mean? Boise is still not a lost case. California, I mean, I don't know which parts of it you couldn't just write off as being a total loss. A lot of people have. I mean, we've seen the dust from the trailers and the U-Hauls just fleeing out of there, which is a very smart thing to do. That's what we did. We saw it coming and we got out of there. We made that decision. And I mean, I could go on and on about this, but Boise's not a lost cause. And I'll give you one quick piece of encouragement. Over this last weekend, the Republicans held their convention down in Twin Falls, and it turns out that they got rid of a bunch of rhinos and put in a bunch of patriots. The patriots have been going around the state for the last, several years saying that, hey, keep an eye on this. These people are harming us. They're taking away our rights and things like that. Those people are now like Dorothy Moon is now the chairman of the Republican Party for Idaho. We've gotten rid of the rhinos. We're bringing in the patriots. I fully expect to see Boise more and more follow suit. They went from voting for city council people at large for Boise to districts. That means that not everyone's going to come from the little liberal enclaves where they have all this massive, campaign focus and money and things like that. So the people on the city council have to come from throughout the entire city. And that's something that we should start to see effect. I believe this next election is the first election where the results of that are going to come into play. So Boise's not a lost cause. And then you step out of Boise to Meridian and Nampa and Caldwell. And, we're just as freedom-loving as ever. And more of the Californians that have come up here that have seen Ickley and have seen Agenda 21, have seen, the economic fascist type of ploys actually happen. They're up here and they're keenly aware, and they are out there and they're making their voices heard. They are fighting to keep Idaho free, and that can only have the effect of making people in Boise that prefer the California type of a life a little bit more uncomfortable. So if you want to come up here, help join the cause and make sure that you have some place for you and your family and your great-grandkids to live in freedom, then come on up here. Let's get you a place to live and get you part of what's going on up here. Don't come up here and then just sit back and be quiet and say, it's beautiful and I don't care what happens. You need to care what happens. Get up here, be vigilant, be involved. I don't care if you can only do just the minor of little things. It's going to still be a help, and we really could use your help up here. So give us a call, text, email, learn more about Idaho. Glad to help you with that. We've all made that journey, and we have experience. Oh boy, do we have experience. And for this video, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel and like this video and maybe share it with somebody that just needs to see it. Well, that was a lot. Sorry I got on my soapbox. Not sorry. It needed to be said, and I'm glad you were there to listen to it. And gosh, we're just going to have to see you on the next video. And as always, this is Treasure Valley Dave, looking forward to helping you get home.